I hope everybody can hear me. Wave in the back if you can hear me. All right, perfect. Thank you. Or at least pretending to. Shana Tova. Let's try that again. Shana Tova. It's an honor to begin my 20th Rosh Hashanah from this bima. And I want to wish someone special a Yom Huledet Sameach. Happy birthday to Isaac. I mean, you all know who Isaac is, right? He goes by the Hebrew name Yitzchak, the second patriarch in our tradition, and the very first Jewish baby born in history to Abraham and Sarah on this very day, according to the rabbis, nearly 4,000 years ago. That is why the Torah reading was chosen for this first day of the Jewish calendar year, and you can say it was the beginning of Judaism, since had Isaac not been born to Abraham and Sarah, there would have been no one to continue our ancestral lineage, our heritage, impart the gift of monotheism onto the world, and perhaps most importantly, solidify our national identity. Isaac's connection to our homeland is so significant, please note that he is the only patriarch and only major figure from the Torah never to leave or live outside the land of Israel. And I think that last point informs so much of what I want to impart this Rosh Hashanah morning. Judaism can be defined by belief, it can be defined by birth, it can be defined by practice, or some would even say culture. But I believe strongly that you cannot separate Judaism from its national origins, its connection to a nation state, the Jewish state, what we know and love as the land of Israel. That is an essential part of the covenant with Isaac, as well as his father Abraham, and in turn, his son Jacob. It's a promise of progeny. There will be a nation of people of which we are the descendants, and a national home for those same people, the land of Israel, of which we are the inheritors to this day. Now, it's true that Isaac had a half-brother, Abraham's first son, Ishmael, the father of the Arab people, who would one day become the progenitors of Islam, and the father of 13 nations, which would grow to 22 nations that we know of today. Ishmael and his descendants were meant to be a mighty people, a respected people. It states so in our Torah, but not a people whose covenant with God would include the land of Israel, the one and only true homeland of the Jewish people. To be Jewish means connection to Israel is integral. It's a part of our historical, cultural, and theological DNA. To deny it is to deny a very basic aspect of being Jewish and our very peoplehood. There's a tale recounted by none other than the great rabbinic theologian from the past century, Abraham Joshua Heschel. There was once a small, remote village, isolated from the rest of the world, and at one point, all the clocks in this town just stopped working, and no one could gauge proper time. Eventually, after a few years, a watchmaker happened to wander into the area, and immediately the town became abuzz. Every villager in this far-flung place would bring him their clocks to be repaired because there had been no one previously who could figure out the intricate workings, the springs and inner mechanisms to repair any of those clocks. One by one, the watchmaker patiently sat about examining each piece, but alas, they all seemed beyond repair, as so much time had passed that the gear shifts had become rusted in place. Figuratively, time had stopped for this one village. And sometimes I feel like we as Jews, or more importantly, we as Jews who care about Israel, have been stuck in the aftermath of 10/7 for the past couple of years. A new year is upon us, yet how many of us are able to truly move forward? The war drags on, the hostages are still being held, and Israel is vilified the world over. Sometimes we just need to look for whatever piece of good news wherever and wherever we can find it. It's there. We just have to be open to it. One professional piece that I want to share with all of you this morning is that since 10/7, I have been asked to participate in more conversions than I ever have before in my career. I've converted Christians, Muslims, Hindus, all to our Jewish faith. I've been asked to officiate at more weddings, which I love. I believe I have seen more births in our community. The noted theologian Emil Fackenheim said that after the Holocaust, every Jew should add a commandment to the 613 posited in the Torah: to not give Hitler a posthumous victory by abandoning your Judaism. It's an uphill battle because at a time when it can almost seem scary to be proudly Jewish, we have to encourage people to be just that. But when we get too comfortable, too complacent, or God forbid, start to assimilate, that hasn't worked out too well for us historically either. It also means we can never abandon Israel. Doing so would leave us with perhaps the spirit of Judaism, but no body. We would be like some disembodied entity, what you call a ghost. And on that note, I sincerely wish all anti-Zionist Jews a Shana Tova, and I hope they never know, God forbid, a time when there is no state of Israel, for all our sakes. Now, I'm a Zionist rabbi, and this is a Zionist shul, as I preached 1 year ago today on this very bima. I'm not going to stand here in front of the ark and tell you Israel's a utopia. That would be a lie. It's messy and imperfect, but it's like your family. You can't choose it, and it may embarrass you, drive you crazy at times. It may even be dysfunctional, but it's still your family, and you should love your blood. We don't love Israel because she is perfect, nor do we need Israel to be perfect in order to love her. It's all we have, all we've ever had. I'm a proud American, and yes, I would say a patriot. That word shouldn't come with any more baggage than Zionist does. But I recognize full well that America isn't perfect either. And yet I would never want to denounce America or want to see it undone, just as I would never want to see Israel canceled in words or actions. So how can we help ensure her survival, which is integral to our very survival? I want to come back to that story I told before about the watchmaker and the village clocks that couldn't be repaired. Eventually, an old woman came forward with a clock that had been a family heirloom, and lo and behold, the watchmaker was able to repair her clock. Everyone else clamored around her. How was this so? What was the secret to her clock? What made it so special? She then simply revealed, when our clock stopped, I didn't know what else to do. So I kept winding my clock each morning as if it worked. And that simple act of hope and faith had kept the gears from rusting over. Like all rabbinic tales, it's a metaphor. Take it for what you will, but I understand it to be about the Jewish people not losing faith and holding on to their determination for their homeland throughout the years of exhaustive exile and displacement. It's what we strove for, what we fought for. Our longing for Israel is not just some abstract ideal. When we pray, what direction do we face? Hint, it's not south towards Boca. And as hard as it is, and as lonely as it may seem, we need to keep plugging away in our support of Israel. Move forward in time with our Jewish state and never forget why we need it and why it needs us. Think of all those innocent lives taken from us on that horrible autumn day of 10/7. Think of those poor hostages and their families. Do what they cannot. Celebrate your Judaism and Zionism together, loudly and proudly. Someone I'm a huge fan of, Douglas Murray, stated, "The world's biggest death cult has met the world's greatest life cult, and the life cult is going to win." But we still have to do our part to ensure that happens. I mentioned before about all the conversion candidates I'm now asked to help with. In the past, whenever I was asked to sit in on interviews for conversions, you were always told to ask questions of these candidates. And I would always ask the standard questions. What about Judaism inspires you? What life experiences led you down this path? It's a big commitment. But in the last couple of years, I've altered all my personal questions. I leave it to my colleagues to ask about Jewish observance. What I ask them now is about their feelings towards Israel. Have they been there, or will they visit? Are they Zionists, and do they understand that Israel is the one eternal and eternal homeland of the Jewish people? And to deny any connection to it is not only disingenuous, but it is an utter disservice to us as Jews. Thank you, but I'm not finished quite yet. So that's the question I would end with. How will you connect to Israel in this new year of 5786? How will you help our one and only Jewish nation during these stressful times? If you consider yourself a Zionist, what does that mean to you? I would now add another commandment to the modern list of 614, and that's to be a Zionist Jew. In America, it's up to us to be the voice of Israel. We may not all be Gal Gadot or Noah Tishby, but that doesn't mean we can't do our part. Israel has a strong military defense, but its PR machine, guess what? It's not so strong. That is where we must come in with the messaging. We fight because we have no choice. Look at the neighborhood we live in. It's not the West. It's not Western Europe. It's far more like the wild, wild West. And we can't expect the same set of rules or values. As Jews, we all want to be liked. It's understandable based on our past history. Maybe that's why there's so many Jewish comedians. Israel, however, needs to be feared. To paraphrase Golda Meir, would you rather be ostracized or eulogized? We then, as Jews living in the diaspora, have no choice. We need to be on the forefront every chance we get advocating for Israel because no one else will do it for us. And we're outnumbered probably 100 to 1. So our voice needs to be as loud as the clarion call of the shofar. Therefore, with your words and with your heart and your soul, fight for Israel, defend Israel, donate to Israel, support Israel, connect to Israel, visit Israel. Remember, when you go to another country, you're a tourist. When you travel to Israel, you're returning home. I myself will be going after the holidays to Israel on my first ever interfaith clergy trip organized by UJA. I'm excited to share and experience Israel with non-Jewish religious leaders because Israel needs all the advocates it can get. And if you haven't traveled to Israel in several years or you've never gone before, now is the time to do so. I promise you will be safe. It's no less safer than New York City, believe me. Israel is the only place today where I feel safe walking around openly wearing my kippah and my Star of David necklace. A ship in a port during a storm is safe. But that's not what ships were built for. So post about Israel if you can. Social media has become the drug of choice for our youngest generation, for better or for worse, and we cannot underestimate its influence. And when a local member of Congress like a Tom Suozzi or Richie Torres are vilified for standing up for Israel, and believe me, it happens all the time, call their office and thank them for their support. It takes 2 minutes. I try to do it every Friday. When you light Shabbat and Holy Day candles, always include a special one for our hostages. We are all incomplete without them. Don't let them be forgotten. If you want more information on the history of Israel, I'm happy to recommend any number of books on the subject. I'm happy to sit and talk with you about Israel. Just ask. And don't allow anyone to ever force you to check your Zionism at the door. Ever. I promise you, you will never have to do that in the shul. Israel is our touchstone and our North Star. Don't allow Hamas to have a posthumous victory, ever. It's been an honor to have spoken to you all this first day of our new year. God bless you all. God bless Israel. God bless the United States. And pray for our hostages. I'd like to ask everyone to please rise for the moment, clear the center aisles, and most importantly, we're about to embark on the Hineni service, which introduces the Musaf Amidah, page 140 of your Lev Shalem. In the black Machzor, it's page 279. So page 279 in the black Machzor, and page 140 in Lev Shalem. But most importantly, clear the center aisle, because the cantor needs to walk down that aisle in order to pray on our behalf. We're almost finished. We just have 1 hour left of the service, give or take. I promise you, you'll still get to lunch and tashlich, but let's clear the aisle for the cantor. He needs to pray for us. Page 140 in Lev Shalem, page 279 in the black Machzor. And let's give him our undivided attention.
It's on. I'll keep my mouth close.
Check it. Is it working?
Yes. Okay. It's okay.